Welcome to the Shootin The Que Podcast, presented by Heath Riles BBQ, with tips, tricks, and an inside look with some of the top pitmasters in the game. Now here's your host, Heath Riles.
Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm joined, of course, by my lovely wife, Candace. How are you doing today, honey?
I'm good.
Just good?
I'm tired. Yeah.
You're tired? I think me and you both are a little tired. A lot of travels, a lot of hard work, and a whole lot of fun recently on both sides of the rim with both work and personal. So it's still getting over Labor Day myself and all that. I know that was a couple of weeks ago, but I still hadn't fully recovered from all that yet.
What did you do during Labor Day you need recovery from?
Well, I dove hunted and I drank beer, and I dove hunted and I drank beer. And
I'm going to say you drank beer more than you dove hunted if I had to guess, but that's just me.
Yes and no. I mean, I'm not going to talk about percentages. I'm just going to say we drank.
Not good at numbers.
Yeah, I'm not good at numbers on that end of it. I didn't keep up with how many gold tops I crushed. But I had a good time, and I'm still recovering from it. And I don't know. Can't wait for next year's, Labor Day. I love that weekend.
Got a ways to go.
Have a ways to go. Talking about that, we rolled right after Labor Day into an incredible football already. Started off with a blowout win for Ole Miss. LSU lost, of course. But NFL's kicked off. And we've been working on a lot of football foods lately. I mean, really not working on them, but just cooking them and having fun with them and all that. And last week we done a cheeseburger queso.
It was different.
It was way different.
It did taste like a cheeseburger, though.
It really did. Adding the relish to a queso recipe and the chopped onion, it was, I don't know, the mustard and mayo and ketchup mixed in too with the cheese. You would think that would be kind of weird, but I really liked it. I really did.
I didn't dislike it, but it was definitely different. But you like cheeseburger stuff. Like you even order cheeseburger pizza sometimes, so that's your thing. Yeah. But no, it was good. It was just, I don't think I've ever had, like you said, like a warm cheese dip that has pickles in it.
Well, like a cheeseburger taste to it, I guess.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it definitely did taste like a cheeseburger.
I mean, it's something that I definitely want to revisit, especially with a batch of freshly cooked shoestring fries, maybe, and do some loaded fries.
Tater tots.
Tater tots. I think that would be kind of cool, and even, I mean, nachos would be good, but I think the fries with the cheeseburger queso on top, and then kind of maybe putting some tomato and lettuce and all that kind of stuff on top.
Weird.
It'd be a little bit different.
You can't have tomato and lettuce do not go on hot things. I've told you, like, they're not supposed to be warm.
Kind of depends on what it is. Just kind of depends.
I can't eat that.
You can't eat it?
That'll be all you.
That'll be all me. I'll try it. No doubt. And, next week, I cooked a recipe. We're editing it right now. We done some bloomin' bologna.
Yeah.
Now, I've always cooked a lot of bologna. I've sliced it kind of thick and, seasoned both sides and put it on, let it cook, and then grilled it off. And I've done whole chubs of bologna and smoked them and cut them. And for anybody that don't know what a stick of bologna is, it's actually called a chub. I mean, I worked in a meat market as a kid, but a lot of people does not realize a stick of bologna is called a chub, unfortunately.
Set TikTok on fire with that one that time.
Yeah, I know. Look at my chub. But did you know it was called a chub?
I mean, I've heard you call it that. I don't know if, I don't really know.
I think you're not used to my redneck terms. You remember that one time when I told you that one term and he's like, what is that?
Courting. I do remember.
They were riding side by side in that truck.
Yeah.
That's right.
You have a lot of terms.
She was sitting right up on that man. Hey, they was courting. They were going out.
I had no idea what that was at the time. But.
I mean, that's the way I was raised and taught. I mean, you courted a woman. I mean, nowadays.
What went wrong with you?
Well, nowadays, these youngsters, they just don't know what's going on. They fly by night, got all this social media wide open. I was still trying to be a gentleman back in. Right?
I guess so.
That's right. Well, rolling into that, is any other recipes that we've, cooked lately that you really enjoyed?
I'm trying to think. I really don't know. I mean, I always go back to the same ones that I always like, but I'm trying to think what else you've cooked lately, to be honest with you.
Well, you weren't at home 2 of the times I cooked. I ain't thinking about that. You were gone once to your sister's, and the other time you were at work when I were cooking videos and all that. So you didn't really get to try.
I mean, I tried the dip and the bologna. I'm trying to think what else there was, to be honest, but you know, my memory's terrible.
Your memory is terrible. Well, you know, we do have a guest in studio today, and we want to bring him on. We met these gentlemen down in Key West, Florida, and, you know, everything's big in the state of Texas. So we got J.D. Marsh in-house today. Let's go ahead and get him on, and let's talk about some Texas barbecue. All right, everybody, we're back, and we're with J.D. Marsh from Breggy Bomb BBQ. How are you doing today, J.D.?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Appreciate y'all having me in.
Man, you're a long way from home in South Texas, right?
I'm a long way from home. I sure am. But, you know, I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone out here. Got a couple other things to do, so it worked out well for me.
Good. Well, I know you were supposed to have JJ with you, and unfortunately, he caught the bug.
He's man down right now, so
Man
we'll have
down.
to catch up with him later, yeah.
Yeah, we'll catch him on a Riverside chat coming up. I really hate that he couldn't make the plane ride, but I totally understand, too.
I talked to him last night after dinner, and he did not sound well.
Man, that sucks. Well, for the people that don't know JD or JJ or Breggy Bomb BBQ, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and about Breggy Bomb BBQ?
Yeah, so Breggy Bomb BBQ, we have a catering arm of the company, and then we have a rubs and sauces arm of the company. We are partners with Alex Bregman, third baseman for the Houston Astros. It's myself, JJ, Jeremy Jeffers, and Alex Wilson are the 3 partners on my side, and then Alex Bregman is a partner on the other side, and we're 50-50 partners in the business. So we do the rubs and sauces. That's really what we're growing right now. Right now we have 2 rubs and 3 sauces out. We have a couple new things we're working on that'll be out shortly, but stay super busy with that. And then catering side, we do a lot of corporate catering, corporate lunches, stuff like that. And we got our start really similar to you, and not to the scale you were doing it, but in the competition barbecue world, we did that for probably 10 years, just around South Texas, around the Houston area mostly, you know, IBCA mostly. So that's where we got our start and started creating these recipes and whatnot. Like I said, similar to you, but smaller scale as far as the competition world. We didn't travel near as much as you have.
Well, I didn't mean to. It just kind of started evolving like that, you know what I mean, and went on. And I never anticipated this to turn into all this.
Right.
I mean, I never really did. But they say when you find something you love and it's your hobby, and
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of hard to get away from it.
Yeah, you know, we started out 10, 12 years ago. We started going to chili cook-offs around South Texas. And because there was one every weekend. They were fun. They were super cheap to do. All you needed was a pot, a Coleman stove, and a easy up tent. You were rolling. So we started doing those and started doing pretty decent at those. And then we started getting into some of them that had barbecue cook-offs also. We were all backyard barbecue guys. And we said, well, hell, let's start doing the barbecue portion of these cook-offs also. And so we went and had a buddy of ours build us a pit. And, man, it was a leaky son of a gun and a hot son of a gun, but it cooked good. And so we rolled with that for several years. That was the start into the barbecue competition world for us.
And so did that first trophy really engage y'all to go spend $10,000 right after the first bowling trophy?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the way it happens to generally most people, right?
Absolutely. It didn't take us long. We were building new pits, and then we had more than we knew what to do with, and stuff sitting around and selling stuff and buying more stuff. And I think you were telling me you sold a trailer yesterday. So, yeah, we're doing the same kind of stuff.
Never advertised it, only cooked on it once. Somebody sent me a text and said, heard through the grapevine your trailer's for sale. And I said, well, you heard correctly. Everything I got's for sale but the wife and kid, and the kid can, you know, the kid's got to stay, but the wife, which she's questionable sometimes, but I'm going to hang on to her.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure you're the same way we are. We have way too much stuff, way too much equipment.
Too much stuff.
And we're constantly selling and buying and getting and
If
giving.
anybody else would like to buy anything else of Heath's, y'all let me know. He has plenty.
No, we're not trying to. We're not just. No. We're keeping the. I don't know. I've had a lot of. I'm not gonna say older equipment, but I've got rid of some older stuff.
Yeah.
and trading out for newer, smaller stuff that I don't need the big equipment anymore. I'm never going to go cook 35 contests a year anymore. You know, I'm only going to cook some of the big ones and do things that pertain to my brand and stores that I participate with and stuff like that, just promotions and stuff. I'm sure y'all the same way. You can't go run the road.
No, we're down. I mean, we're down to probably 6 or 7 cook-offs a year right now. We all have kids that are in junior high and elementary school and busy with sports and that plus the business, along caterings on weekends and stuff. We just don't have time to do it. We do have a couple guys that we've cooked with for years that still do grind it out every weekend, and we sponsor them. They use our products. They cook under our name, and they go out there and kill it, and they enjoy doing it, and they have time to do it. But we don't have the time anymore to go do it every weekend. So, like I said, we have our few big ones every year. San Antonio is a big one for us. Houston's a big one for us. And then there's several other smaller cook-offs kind of, you know, in our region that we like to hit every year.
Now, when is San Antonio?
San Antonio is the last weekend of January, and Houston is the last weekend of February. And San Antonio is actually the largest cook-off in the state of Texas. It's bigger than Houston teams-wise. The layout, the party, everything at Houston is way bigger. But San Antonio, teams-wise, is actually bigger than Houston. San Antonio is my favorite cook-off every year.
Really?
It is. It's a sanctioned cook-off. It's run very well. We've generally done very well out there. Houston is not sanctioned, and it's kind of a crapshoot. It's more of a party, and it's a good time. A great time. It's a lot of work, but San Antonio is a true cook-off. I mean, you're there to cook. We're not there to party. We're there to
So
cook.
y'all do not party really at San Antonio?
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but not to the extent. At Houston, we have a huge tent. We feed 1,200 people a night. We have 3 nights of full band in our tent. So it is a major production for the 3 days, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, full band every night, feeding 1,200 people a night. It's quite the
what
production.
all do y'all cook to feed the 1,200 people that are coming through?
On Thursday night, traditionally, we do steaks. We do ribeyes, and we have a twice-baked potato salad with that and green beans. And then on Friday and Saturday, we do pulled pork sandwiches, chopped beef sandwiches, potato salad, and beans. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot. So, yeah, that's a party. San Antonio is just our crew. We don't have any guests, no sponsors, nothing like that. We're just there to cook.
That sounds fun. Well, I mean, I hope that we're going to get to join y'all at Houston this year.
Yeah, we would love to have you.
I'm looking forward to it. I've never have been, and we've talked about going, I don't know, a dozen times.
Been
and just
invited.
never could line the
Yeah.
dates up. And when JJ called me the other day, I was like, I'm putting it on my calendar now.
Yeah.
I'm booking stuff already out in February right now. And so I'm putting it down. I'll be there. If I tell you I'm going to be there, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So unless somebody, you know, passes away that I can't control, that's about it.
It's a good time. I'll tell you, my biggest piece of advice is wear some comfortable shoes.
Well, I have learned as I go to events later on in life that you really need to bring a pair of shoes for each day.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to repeat the same shoes you're wearing. A lot of people don't understand that. I had an older gentleman teach me that, and he does vending and big events, and he puts his shoes in the freezer, believe it or not, or an ice chest to get them really cold, and then he puts them on when it's really hot outside like that. And it's Tommy Houston. He told me he's got his shoes cold like out vending in Reno and all
Interesting.
that. And he changes shoes every day like that. Sometimes change shoes twice a day. And, you know, your feet hurt you. You put on a new pair of shoes and they're ice cold. You can imagine 110 degrees. They got to feel good to your feet.
Interesting.
Yeah. Really.
But yeah, Houston being that last weekend of February in southeast Texas, you never know what the weather is going to do.
It's either going to be hot or cold, right?
This past year, it was 90 degrees. We were sweating the whole time. The year before was 35 degrees and raining, and we were freezing to death the whole time. So you never know.
I mean, that's Memphis in May here.
Yeah.
We've had it windy, rainy, cold. We've had it muggy a lot of years, and we've had it downright damn hot.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, you know, you just don't never know. And it's always thunderstorms, it seems like, in May, and it's always a threat of closing the park and this and that. And if there's lightning, I think, within 2 mile distance or 10 mile distance, they have to shut the park down.
Yeah.
Won't let you come in the gate. Some of that stuff's ridiculous, but
I came to Memphis in May this year for the first time, and that was a whole nother world for us. You know, we've been to Kansas City, we've cooked up there, and obviously the stuff around Texas. But the whole hog. That's not something that we traditionally do. And the way, I think I was telling you yesterday, the way that y'all have to present to the judges is something totally foreign to us. It was pretty cool.
That's what separates the men from the boys.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see.
It's all over with at Memphis when you get in that lineup. I mean, I tell people that it's all. You definitely have to fall into a rhythm with those judges of being able. You got to be able to communicate with somebody, and I'm going to say it's about a 50-50 shot. Some people are persons, and some people are not.
Sure.
And if you can tell anybody how you cook that food from raw to cooked, that's all they're asking for.
Right.
You know, if you want to throw any humor in there, you can. I mean, I try to keep it all serious myself. No jokes whatsoever. Anybody that knows me. And roll straight up.
Depends who your judge is. Depends who the judge is.
Yeah, it depends on
them,
who the judge is.
Some of them just sit there and stare at you.
Some of them got poker faces, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had some blank stares, like, you know. Shit, I laughed at myself, and they never done anything, and I busted out laughing. They just sat there. Like, well, it happens.
Yeah.
You know, well, talking about food, last night we went to dinner at Southern Social in Germantown, Tennessee.
Yes, we did.
Not far from us. And for anyone that is around our area or coming to town, you know, we go to Southern Social every once in a while. So really, it's a nice restaurant. But it's more like farm to table, you know, and craft style stuff. And everybody had a good meal. But what I ordered was a country fried New York strip.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think about that. And like we talked about it and asked the waiter, is that, you know, pounded out thin and fried? And he said, oh, no. He said, this thing is a full-size steak cooked to medium rare and flash fried. And I still didn't know what to think about it until you got it on the plate.
Until it come to the table. And it come with like a pepper sawmill gravy on top of it. It blew my mind. It was killer.
Yeah.
I mean,
I couldn't believe how tender it was. It was unbelievable.
And that was probably a good 18 ounce to 20 ounce steak at least.
That was an inch and a half, 2 inch steak.
It was between an inch and a quarter, an inch and a half.
It was a big steak.
It was, I don't know. It was really, really good.
It was interesting. So, like you said, we go there. I mean, we haven't been there in a while, but I've never seen that on the menu before.
No, I hadn't
that
either.
was a new item, which they changed their menu, I think, seasonally anyway. But, yeah, that was definitely interesting.
Everything was really good. I had the pork chop and Brussels sprouts and some kind of sweet potato
souffle or something.
Yeah, and Brussels sprouts were really on point. They had a little kick to them, a little spice. They were really good.
They were.
Yeah, the mashed potatoes was killer.
Wedge salad was
the barbecue
good.
shrimp was hands down.
So that's my favorite. And so you're not like
I'm not a shrimp guy.
You're not a shrimp guy. And finally, I was like, so is it the shrimp, or will you at least try the sauce?
Yeah,
that
you
they
told me
make?
to try the sauce on some bread, and you were not wrong.
That's the whole reason I get the dish, the sauce that's on there. It's not for the shrimp. But
yeah, it was
the sauce
phenomenal.
Is amazing.
That's definitely heavy Worcestershire with lemon.
Very heavy Worcestershire.
Very.
Yeah.
I mean, you could taste it. I could, the depths of flavor.
Very good.
It was very good.
It was real good. Absolutely.
What did you eat?
A filet.
Yeah, you had a filet, a blue cheese stuff, crusted filet. I find it
And
kind of basic.
wine.
And wine.
2 flights of wine.
The wine was very good. I mean, nothing wrong with it.
They're like small.
Now, you ordered a drink at the end, and what was the name of this
After
drink?
dinner drink.
The fire.
Ring of Fire?
Ring of Fire.
That was it.
So what all was in the Ring of Fire? You said it had tequila in it?
Tequila, pomegranate, ghost pepper, which scared me. I had to ask the waiter how hot it was going to be, and I like hot stuff, but I've had a few, spicy margaritas where it just lit me up so bad I couldn't even drink it, and he promised me it wasn't going to be that, and it wasn't. It was real similar to a Paloma. The taste was real similar to a Paloma, but it had that little spicy kick to it, and it was really, really good. It somewhere between a Paloma and lemonade is almost what it tasted like, and I could have drank 10 of those things. It was delicious. But I limited myself to one.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, talking about a good time, that was good food. But, coming back from Key West, y'all were at Key West as well. And so tell me your thoughts on Key West, the whole trip, the Baron Burton's Rub and Tug invitation.
It was a blast, an absolute blast. Like you said, Candace, I think it was not much of a vacation. It was a lot of work.
It was.
It was nonstop blowing and going. But especially in Key West when you tend to stay out too late and then you're up the next morning fishing or lobstering or cooking or whatever you're doing. It wasn't a lot of rest going on, but it was a blast, you know. I've been down to Key West 6 or 7 times, but never done anything like that. I've never done the lobster diving. I haven't done much fish. I've done fishing in the Keys, but not in Key West. And so we had a blast, man. We had an awesome guide, Diego, on fishing and lobstering. We caught a bunch of fish. We caught permit, snook, tarpon, snapper, a couple other things I'm forgetting, I'm sure. And then the lobstering, that was interesting.
That was hard.
It was very hard. We talked about it last night a little bit. We started out probably close to where y'all were, and we were 10, 12 feet of water, current ripping, and this ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I know. You go off the side of the boat, and then you pop back up, and you're 40 foot from the boat already. You don't realize how far the water had carried you away, and you had to swim back toward the boat because that's where the lobsters was at, sitting basically on top of them, and it, you know. Yeah,
we ended up in over close to the sandbar, and we were about chest deep water, and so you could kind of just stick your head down and look around and walk, and you know, you'd see these holes and you see the tentacles down there or whatever, and then you'd have to dive down and go get them. But that was doable. And once we got to that spot and started finding them, it was a lot of fun and kind of got the hang of it. But it was definitely harder than I thought it was going to be.
Definitely a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
And then we rolled into the sandbar, and that was just, I mean, that was an experience like nothing I've ever had. That was so cool.
How far were we offshore?
I think we were about 20 miles off of Key West.
Somebody was asking me, telling me there's no way we were 20 miles off of Key West. And I'm like, we were a good 10 to 15, I know.
Yeah, we were 20 miles off.
Hell, it was an hour boat ride, 45 minutes, wasn't it? Solid.
Yeah, we were way
wide open.
Yeah. We were out there, and just beautiful blue water and cooking beautiful RC Ranch Wagyu steaks and lobsters. And we took one of the loco cookers out there, and we boiled up 100 pounds of shrimp out there.
I don't think I ever got a shrimp.
You didn't get a shrimp? Mm-mm. Oh, you missed out.
No, I mean, well, you know, everything, the tide was coming in, and we were talking and carrying
Tide was definitely coming in, and it came in fast. You know, when we first got there, it was all sand.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you'd step in a little water puddle and burn your feet. The water was so damn hot from sitting on that sand. Next thing you know, you're almost knee-deep water, and buckets are floating around, and
I know
stuff's getting away from you.
When it got to be about 8 inches from the bottom of the green egg, I mean, and there was only, by the time they took our tent down, because most of us, the people that migrated over toward our tent, me and Matt Pittman were standing there talking, and Max the meat guy and Candace, and I don't know who all had walked over there at that time. But Matt had been over there, and Max had been over there over an hour and a half talking, 2 hours, Pittman had. And so we didn't really realize, paying attention, that all, you know, we knew the water was rising, but they had took all the tents down, and the boats were getting closer and closer. And when we turned around, there was only 2 eggs left, and all of us, about a dozen of us, standing in the water. Everybody else had got on boats. And so they snapped that one pic that showed up on the cover of the Barbecue News and everywhere else. But that was just, I don't know, that was iconic.
Yeah, it was nothing like that's ever been done.
Yeah, that nothing.
Was,
and I cannot wait to do it again. I will be so much more prepared next year for everything. I'm going for more time.
I think the teams will be more prepared. I think Bear and Burton and Jen will be more prepared. Yeah. Kind of lock it in, learn from, you know, it's the first year. You're gonna learn from things your first year. It can only get better from here, and I think it will. And as long as they have that event, I plan on being there because it was just
I'm gonna be there.
Amazing.
And you guys actually drove there.
We did drive there.
Will you driving next year?
Yeah, I was going to say, you driving again?
We'll probably get roped into it. We brought all the meat from Texas that was provided for people to cook. We brought a lot of the swag that was given away to the teams. We brought a lot of that with us from Texas. So we brought a cargo trailer out there, and we broke it up. We stopped, JJ actually grew up in the Boca Grande area. So we stopped there, and we fished over there for a day, and then came on down to the Keys.
Well,
so it wasn't terrible.
I mean, you had
the drive home we hauled home, but the drive there we broke up a little bit. It wasn't too bad.
I do that on trips too. I'm bad about stopping somewhere on a long trip, going, and then coming back. I'm ready to get home.
Yeah, we stopped on the way back. We stopped in Mobile and slept for 4 or 5 hours, and then got back on the road. But it's a 24, 25-hour drive from us.
Oh, really?
Crazy.
Yeah. I didn't realize it. You know, it's only.
Once you get to
24
Florida,
from here to Vegas driving.
Yeah, once you get to Florida, you're only halfway there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, and then you got to go A long ways through Florida.
It's a long ways.
Well, that last 90 miles is what, 6 hours?
From about 3 hours drive down from Miami to Key West usually if traffic's
They
not
say
terrible.
that's one of the best drives, though.
Yeah, I've done it a number of
we've never
times.
done it,
It
but-
is a beautiful drive.
I think I'd still fly into Miami and drive it. I would not drive it from here down.
Yeah, I would suggest fly to Fort Lauderdale or
I'd get a
Miami.
rental car, and I'm going to be a passenger because I'm going to be.
Yeah. Go to Fort Lauderdale, not Miami. The airport's much better, much easier to get around.
Oh, really?
The airport at Key West is
Not
small.
much. Not much.
Very, very small.
Yeah.
They are adding on to it.
True, they are.
Are they? It's been a
Yeah.
couple years since I flew into Key
Leaving
West.
there was rough. You do not realize how packed it is when you get in that place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's
you drop
never-
what time did y'all
downstairs.
fly out?
Well, it got delayed.
Like 1 o'clock or something.
Okay.
It was supposed to be, but then it ended up being
In
later or something. I don't remember.
Because if you're there like 5, 6 o'clock in the
No,
evening,
it wasn't that late.
that airport shuts down. You can still, there's still flights, but you can't even get a snack or a drink or nothing in there. So
Really?
it shuts down.
We knew that we didn't want to leave out at 8 a.m. in
Yeah.
the morning, 7
No.
a.m. And so we waited to mid-morning, got packed up. And we had to ship some stuff off at FedEx back home and all that. But definitely next year, I think I will go down at least a couple days prior to the event.
Yeah.
And I will stay 1 to 2 days after the event.
Yeah.
Because just trying to, as soon as the event's over, those 3 days are really
They're
a
packed.
lot. They're packed
They are.
with stuff you're doing. You really need a day to lay around to catch up before you fly out. At least I did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So if you drive in or fly into Miami or Fort Lauderdale and drive down, I would suggest on your way back, leave the morning after the event is over, go to Isle Morada and stay at a place. There's a place there called Chicka Lodge. My wife and I love to stay at. We've been there 4 or 5 times, and beautiful, very relaxing, very different than Key West. Isle Morada is. It's about halfway from Miami down to Key West, and it's just super relaxing, super laid back, and
We may have to do that next year. Maybe get
Yeah.
a rental car out of there and drive back up and fly out of somewhere.
it is a
else.
beautiful drive.
That would be a little bit different driving out of there and get to see it. That would
Yeah.
be kind of cool.
That'd be a fun trip for sure.
Yeah.
And then the cooking day down in Key West was hot.
It was hot.
Man,
But
it
at
was
least
hot.
we had the pool right
We did have the
beside
pool.
us.
It's pretty handy being able to just step in the pool every 5 minutes.
You
I
had
would
to.
I would flip something on
Yeah.
the grill and
Yeah.
literally go, y'all don't let it burn up. I'm going right here to the pool. And I'd go in there and I'd set my watch 4 minutes. I got in the pool here and
Yeah.
I'd cool off and I'd come right back out. I'd be dripping wet, flip what I needed to on the grill, go right back in the pool.
It was hot.
That was a fun day though, watching everybody do their thing, and everybody that was there, all the teams were so cool, and everybody was the camaraderie was great with everybody.
It was.
Everybody wanted to win, but everybody was having a great time talking with each other and
Well, at the
sharing
end of the
with
day,
each
I
other.
think they raised over $75,000.
Yeah,
Is
for
what the total
pediatric
was.
cancer, yeah.
Pediatric brain cancer, which I think is really cool. Great organization. And what was the gentleman's name representing the Pediatric Brain Cancer Foundation?
I can't remember his name.
I
I
can
think
see
his card's
his
on my desk
face.
over here, but I can't remember
Yeah.
his name. But really, really superb guy. But that I don't know. I cannot wait to be a part of that.
Yeah, and like I
fundraiser.
said, it can only get bigger and better from here.
I mean, it was definitely. What was your favorite part of the trip? If you had to do one thing, what was your favorite part of the trip?
And that sandbar day was just unbelievable. Because I've done a lot of fishing. I've done a lot of cooking. I've never done anything like that.
Yeah.
I agree. I almost wish that we could have spent a little more time out there.
Yeah, get there a little earlier. 'Cause we
Which I
had to
don't-
bail out because the water was coming in fast.
So when is it down low enough? Early in the morning?
Well, I guess it depends on the time of year and whatnot.
Probably.
But that day, what time did we get there? Like 1:30,
Yeah.
and
About
by
3:30,
3:30, 4 o'clock, it was. We were having to pack up and go because the water was getting too high.
Now, how tall would it get there?
I don't know. I don't know how tall
I
it
think
ends
they
up
thought
getting.
like it wouldn't get much more,
Yeah.
maybe another foot or so, and that'd be about it.
I don't
But
think we could have handled another foot with the eggs. And I know that
No.
that Loco boiler we cooked the shrimp on, the water got to about that far below the burners on the bottom of that thing.
Wow.
Really,
Yeah.
before y'all got it cleaned
Yeah,
out, and
yeah.
got it done.
Yep.
Wow,
But
it was definitely something crazy.
amazing trip.
So going back and talking about who y'all are and all that.
Yeah.
How did y'all get involved with Alex Bregman in the first place?
So Alex Wilson, who's my third partner on my side of the business, is a former Major League pitcher. Y'all met him down in Key West. He was there with us. He pitched 8 years in the majors. And he's retired, and he's an agent now. he's real good friends with Ryan Presley, who is the closer for the Astros. We go hunting with him and stuff, hang out. Presley would get us to come in and do catering for the Astros. We would cater a lot of their post-game meals and stuff like that. So one day, this is a couple years ago, it was a Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we get a call from the Sugar Land Skeeters, who is the Astros AAA affiliate, from their nutritionist. And she says, hey, Alex Bregman is down here on a rehab assignment. He had injured his leg, was on his way back to the big league team, and said he's buying dinner tonight for the team after the game, and he wants barbecue. He wants brisket. And we said, well, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's no way he's getting brisket, but we will put something good together for him. Perfect. So we scramble. You know, we send people here, go pick up this trailer, go run to the store, get this. I mean, scrambling. And we roll into Sugarland Stadium, and we cook, and we end up doing whole beef tenderloin, twice baked potatoes, green beans. I don't remember what else, but we put together a pretty good spread. It was good food for sure. The players come through, they're eating. Every one of them is loving the meal. Alex is the last one out, and he looks right at me and says, where's the brisket? And I told him, I said, man, y'all didn't call us till 3 o'clock this afternoon. There was no way y'all were getting brisket today. And he said, I really wanted brisket. I said, okay. I said, are you still going to be here on Sunday? He said, yeah, that'll be my last game down at Sugarland. It'll be Sunday. I said, okay. I said, I'm going to put together a box for you and your family. You can take it home, and y'all can eat dinner. So, I mean, I went to work. I put together the most beautiful barbecue box I've ever built in my life. You know, brisket and beef rib, pork ribs. I think I had some pork belly burn-ins in there. I had elote corn and German potatoes and beans. I mean, I went all out. Brought in this box. That's on Sunday. On Tuesday, we are catering the Astros. And so we're out in the parking lot after catering them, and he comes out, and he says, hey, I want to talk with y'all. Come to my house tomorrow. They had an off day the next day. He said, come to my house tomorrow, bring y'all's pit, pull it up in my driveway, cook, let's sit around, me and my team, and let's talk. And so we did, and pulled up there and cooked them dinner and sat around his dining room table for 4 or 5 hours talking. And he had a brand of salsa already that he'd had out for a year or so and was wanting to expand into something else. And he knew that we had a line of rubs and sauces already. So that's where the marriage kind of began. And we went in and formed a new company together and went from there. And so, you know, we're in Rouse's in Louisiana, H-E-B in Kroger in Texas, and going into Albertsons now and online sales. And it's just been a bit of a whirlwind 2 years.
I bet it has.
Yeah.
Been a whirlwind of 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now y'all are doing more big box retail and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of challenges, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're kind of a regional brand right now. We're southeast Texas, and then Louisiana. And that's basically based on Alex's name, you know, Astros fans, and then he went to LSU, so people in Louisiana love him. Yeah. So Louisiana and southeast Texas are our bread and butter right now. We got some things in the works. We're going to look into moving into more of a national brand. That's our plan for 2024, and we got some exciting things that are coming up that we'll be revealing, you know, between now and the end of the year. Some new products. We can talk about some of those. We got a new brisket rub that's hitting the shelves at Albertsons called Brisket Business. And it's a very traditional Texas SPG with a little bit of sugar in it, but a very traditional Texas beef rub. And then we have a Creole blackening season that we're super excited about. We've got that in some food service stuff already, but it's not available to the public. And then we have our seafood boil that will be coming out. We'll have that ready it's ready now, but we'll be launching it for crawfish season next year. If you would have had some of the shrimp down in Key West, you would have gotten to try it.
Well, honestly, I just never made it over to that pot was the problem. It kept eyeballing me, but I never made it over there.
Yeah, we got a lot of things in the works right now. We're excited. It's an exciting time for us. We're really going to try to grow in 2024.
I mean, I feel like 2024 is going to be the year to do it. I feel like the groundwork's been laid.
Absolutely.
The way the economy is and everything else, it looks like I hope we don't hit another recession spell, but, man, it sure looks like it's leading to it the way everything is.
People still got to eat.
People still got to eat. I mean, I tell people that all the time, all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we're excited.
I bet. So are y'all going to continue with food service and online to grow online
Absolutely
recently as well?
Absolutely.
And all that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's real good.
Food service stuff. We got, we do Landry's uses our blackened seasoning. So if you go to any Saltgrass Steakhouse, they got our blackened seasoning, and they got a number of restaurants that they use it in. And then everything else is kind of just regional around the Houston area right now, but we'll start to try to expand. Like I said, we've got a path that we're trying to go on in 2024, and we really have a lot of plans that we're going to try to hit hard. So it's gonna be a big year for us.
Well, good. I'm glad everything's rolling good.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time out today, coming on the show, telling people who y'all are and what y'all got going. I think y'all have a great story.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I can't wait to keep hanging out with y'all and having a good time. I love meeting people, and it seems like that everybody we meet in Texas, we ultimately become really good friends with. Because Texas
we're just
is so
friendly
much,
people.
Well, Texas is so much like Mississippi where we're at.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're just good old rednecks, man, trying to have a good time.
No
that's
doubt.
All.
We were showing each other deer pictures earlier.
I mean, that's all
that's
it's
what
about,
it's all
man,
about.
trying to have a good time.
And that. I think I told you yesterday, we're really trying to build not just a barbecue brand. We're trying to build a lifestyle brand. The things we enjoy doing, we love to hunt. We love to fish. We love being in the outdoors. And all that goes together. Anytime we're doing any of that, we're cooking.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So it's not just barbecue brand. It's a lifestyle brand. It's what we enjoy doing. It's about cooking and having a good time and drinking beers with your buddies around a campfire and listening to some good music. That's what it's all about.
That's exactly it. And I tell her the same thing. We're kind of got a farm build going on, and I love just to be able to just cook and show more people what we do besides just in-house barbecue stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean, I cook a lot of other types of stuff and was raised really cooking country foods with my grandmother and taught that kind of stuff. And so I want to be able to highlight some of that and show some of that and just some of the things. So I think it's.
And there's nothing better than throwing a steak or some fajitas or something over a campfire with a bunch of buddies and just eating with your hands.
On a paper plate or your hands or paper towel. That's
absolutely. Right. Pocket knives. And,
that's it. That's it. Been on plenty of those types of hunts.
Absolutely.
Like
the best kind.
That's the best kind. Well, tell everybody where they can find y'all at on social media.
BreggyBomb.com. Breggy Bomb on all social media. Me, JD Marsh, you can find me on all social media. But yeah, BreggyBomb.com. You can pick up all our products and swag and stuff there. So come see us.
Well, JD, I appreciate you for coming on and sharing your wealth of knowledge with us out of Texas. And now we're going to roll into some mailbag questions that, of course, readers want to know. So come on, let's get them answered.
Number one, what's your favorite recipe video that you've done?
I'm not going to say it's favorite recipe video that you've done. As far as like eating wise, I'm going to have to say it's probably my barbecue meatloaf. I'm a huge fan of it. The video is a way older video. I probably need to go back and redo it, but I absolutely love my barbecue meatloaf. And if I had to pick another one, I really enjoyed the Dr. Pepper ribs when I cooked them.
You're welcome.
I know. You come up with that idea for me to do them, and it was really good, so I'm going to have to say the Dr. Pepper ribs.
All right. What's your favorite dip or queso to have for football games?
Well, we were just talking about the cheeseburger queso, but I think traditional queso, I really like the one I used, the roasted poblano peppers in when I done that time. And cooked the peppers myself and then cut it up. You did. You really liked that one.
You've done a few.
So I think the one, I don't remember the exact name of it, but it's the one with the
Smoked
roasted
queso
poblano peppers I put in it. I really like that queso recipe.
Yeah, it's really good. What grade is better than prime when it comes to brisket?
There's nothing wrong with a prime brisket, but having a really good either Australian Wagyu or American Wagyu brisket, there's so many great companies out there now that has them. It's hard to turn down a rich, marbled up Wagyu brisket.
So you would say that Wagyu is better than prime, is what you're saying?
And even twice on Sundays.
Okay. All right. I have trouble with keeping my Weber grill hot for a long time because the charcoal just burns off within 30 to 40 minutes. and the temp drops dramatically. Any tips?
Of course, you always want to use a few chunks of nice wood when you're using your Weber kettle, and that's why that one side of the grate always flips up. You know, you really need to take it and keep adding wood to that fire. Once it gets going, you get a good coal bed built, and that's what's going to keep your grill at temp. And keep adding a few briquettes of charcoal every now and then, or fire up a half a chimney and dump it in, and a few more wood chunks. But you got to get your timing down on that. So if you know you're going to need charcoal every 45 minutes to an hour, go ahead and burn a little bit off over here on your chimney and throw a few chunks of wood in there on top of it when you put it in.
All right, last question. When I wrap my ribs meat side down, all of the nice bark I've built is gone once they're tender from the moisture in the bottom of the wrap. It doesn't seem to work properly for me. Is there something I'm doing wrong?
Well, if they've watched enough of my videos, they know that I do a smear test on a rib. I'm going to take my finger and wipe it across that rib, and if that rub comes off, I know it's not ready to be wrapped. Yeah. So I would think he needs to cook his rib longer, up towards 160 degrees, for that rub to really stick before they wrap it. It has
to be dry.
It has to be dried out for the rub to stay on it. You can always go back and set more bark and get a little more flavor pop on the end with that. And those are just some of the little small tricks that us competition guys use. But let that rub stick before you wrap it is the only thing you have to do.
All right, that's all the questions that we have.
I appreciate everybody sending in their questions and everything. If you have any questions or mailbag questions you want to ask us on the show, be sure to write them in, drop them in the comments or messages. We'll get them on a list and get them answered. I'll see you next week for another episode of Shootin The Que, right here live.
Thank you for tuning in to the Shootin The Que podcast. If you have any comments or suggestions for future episodes, please feel free to reach out to us on our social media channels or through our website. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Leave us a review if you enjoyed the show. Until next time, keep shooting the Que.